So the intro was quiet, but there's a lot of flash.
I'm telling you, I need one of those jackets with this headset, and I could completely do a dance routine.
I need a hat like that.
Be careful what you ask for. They might swap us out right here.
Can
you give me a hat?
I'm pretty sure it would take both of their jackets to fit me.
On that note, very excited here this morning to welcome our partners here across FordDirect and one of our very important mutual customers here. So we have Joshua Fichter from 5 Star Ford, Matthew Malfitano from FordDirect, and we're going to talk about our partnership, what we've brought together in DriveCentric as a CRM partner over the last few years since we kicked off our integrations and have really brought this innovation, which DriveCentric prides itself on, to the partnership with FordDirect, the value that is driven through their high engagement, innovation, field teams, connections with OEM data, and flowing that support down through to the dealer network.
Yeah. So Joshua, we've known each other a few years. So as you changed over to DriveCentric, you spent many years in the industry, and you spent years looking at other CRMs, using other CRMs. So just can you explain more about your experiences, where you've been, and where it is today?
Sure. So, when I started in the business, there wasn't a CRM, right? Then there was internet lead management tools. And then our first CRM was ADP CRM.
Wow.
And then
that's a few years ago.
Just a few years ago. And then we went to DealerSocket.
Okay.
And we were at DealerSocket for 15 years. And they were they were the front runners, if you will, of developing and new ideas and that type of stuff. And then we moved to eLead in our partnership with FordDirect, and then DriveCentric. And candidly, it was in ADA. They said, hey, we want to go look at this new CRM, DriveCentric. And I said, whoa. I have no interest in changing CRMs. It is so much work to change a CRM.
Definitely.
And so we sit down, we go through the presentation, we get up, we walk out, and our COO looked at me and says, what do you think? I said, when can we start? And he's like, really? He said, I thought you were going to be the holdout. No. When can we start? And the reason it was that way is because DriveCentric is built for today's communication style with customers, where all these other legacy CRMs are having to either retool their platform or buy other companies and plug them in, right? So you don't get this seamless integration. DriveCentric was built for today. And so they're the ones that everybody else is now copying.
Right.
And so that's kind of where we are and why we're with DriveCentric.
Incredible.
That's amazing. I love to hear it. On that note, something that often comes up when you had that long tenured relationship with those previous platforms that you used, there's oftentimes apprehension around how is the staff, how are the real users day in and day out going to adapt to this new flow? Would love to hear some of your thoughts around what that transition was like, what made it easy perhaps through the DriveCentric platform, how it's laid out as a conversation, and how that may be fundamental to some of the success that's been driven.
Sure. So, everybody loves change, right?
Yeah.
Right, especially salespeople. They really love change. So you're going to run into challenges. You're going to run into pushback. You're going to run into, hey, this isn't right. That's with any CRM, right?
Right.
But what I think was the main change and what got buy-in from the sales team, especially, was the fact that we went from a task-based mindset, right? Here's my daily task that I have to complete. Whether there's value associated with that task or not, I have to complete it, right? Versus DriveCentric, which is all about engagement, all right? It's engaging a customer. Here's who I need to talk to right now. Here's who's talking back to me, and it's all about engagement. And it was a fundamental change because we're all saying, how many tasks do you have to? I don't care about task anymore. How many customers are wanting to talk to me? Are we actively in conversations with? Both the salespeople, the managers can jump into these conversations. And so that whole mindset change from task-driven to engagement is really the defining difference, and where the buy-in got in once everybody realized, I don't have 20 tasks to complete today. I've got customers who want to talk to me, and I need to talk to them.
Yeah, that's amazing from the salesperson, the day-to-day user of the platform. And something I think that's even more interesting, perhaps, is how that flows down to the consumer who's now on the other side of that transaction and what that looks like for them. And perhaps now they're not that task, the checkbox in the platform, but now it is, okay, let's fuel real, true engagement that's nurtured by the platform and helping along in the transaction in a natural, conversational way. Is that something you all have seen the success through?
Yeah, and again, because DriveCentric's built the way it's built with the texting, now with the AI, with the AIM platform, and starting conversations and handing it off to the salesperson, because of just the whole setup, it's just so much smoother, so much more integrated for a salesperson. They're not having to jump from this tool to that tool to this tool to talk to customers everything's just integrated into one tool. And when other dealers talk to me about the price, like A, you get what you pay for, and B, when you go through everything and start getting rid of all the other tools that you're paying for us, it was actually savings. Mm-hmm. Even though it was way more expensive for the CRM than what we were paying, when it was all said and done and netted out, I'm spending less money having everything in one platform.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think on that note, you also bring together the tremendous integrations that are achieved through the partnership with FordDirect, the OEM data, and the support,
correct,
which without a doubt, Matt can comment on how that really influences.
Yeah, and that's the real differentiator with the DriveCentric with Ford and Lincoln retailers is those integrated solutions to make it even easier. The ICI offers, the specific offers for the consumer. When you do have that engagement, all of that information is right in front of you. And right now we're working on what's called lead summaries and even making it more impactful, taking not only the ICI offer, all of the tools we have. We just launched a solution called Insight Assist, which is no charge for the dealers. We've been capturing their data really for the last 5 years. We see consumers at Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3, and we drive that information back to Joshua and his team. I'll give you an example like Matt. I'm looking at a vehicle. I may have looked at a vehicle 15 times on Tier 3 website. We're going to serve that up into the lead summary, and then there's an ICI offer matched to that. So then the salesperson, as they engage with Matt, is going to see the ICI offer specifically, as well as Matt's look at this one vehicle 15 times. I have a person on my team, he calls it, they have their love language in that car. So that's the car that literally is engaged. The salesperson, sales manager knows exactly what the ICI offer is. They know exactly Matt's looked at this specific car this many times, so it narrows that conversation and gets really succinct for you and the team. So it's an evolution. We're actually even engaging even more. We're looking at things called lead reanimation, where a lead is dead in the system, and Matt starts looking at a vehicle like 6-8 weeks later. It's going to repopulate. It's not going to create a new lead. It's going to reanimate it. And we say, Matt's looking at a vehicle. You might want to have reach out to this consumer. So
and with DriveCentric's layout of conversation, right, it makes it so easy to see those recaps. So many leads, the details of the leads, the questions from the customers, they get lost in all that technical language that gets uploaded as a lead. And with Drive, with their conversation, it summarizes it, right? Gives you a summary to the lead. But any of that information is going to be easy to read in the conversation with DriveCentric versus these other legacy CRMs that, again, are just trying to take a XML format and stuff it into a window.
Sure. And would it be fair to say that when you combine all of those things that Matt just referenced, along with that conversation layout and the AI tools that are native in our Genius product suite to DriveCentric, it does drive something that with a standalone strategy really isn't possible. It doesn't have that deep level of integration. It isn't integrated with everything else that is happening within the consumer record. And that truly creates a different way that you can intelligently, in an automated fashion, drive further engagement with the customer and making everyone, I would assume, in the store more productive.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you at the end of the day, I don't know a single dealer out there that is saying, hey, let me sign up for more tools that I have to log into, right? Everybody's looking for how can I bring all my data into one place for one conversation when I'm talking to a customer, right? And I'll tell you, DriveCentric, like I said, that when I saw it the first time, I'm like, how quickly can we get on this tool? Because that's what it was. It brings everything in there. And I think when it was all said and done, I think we got rid of 4 or 5 other vendors. and just brought it all into DriveCentric. Yeah. And then with FordDirect's partnership and bringing their additional information in there, and then the AI being able to read all that, and when we first saw the AI, I was like, I don't know what this is going to do. I mean, we're talking influence of hundreds of sales a month. Now, they're not selling the car, right? They influence it, right? And so when we ran through our little pilot and we got done, we're like, we can't afford to not have this. And then I guess at 2:00 today, y'all are going to show some new enhancements and that type of stuff. So I'll be back at 2:00 today to see how it's going to get even better.
Yeah, and I want to add to that the AI tool, all the data we capture from Ford and Lincoln retailers is in about more than 50% of the leads or engagements are after hours. So that AI tool is engaging that consumer after hours and then serving up, answering the customer's questions, the questions they're asking, not say, I just want to get them in the store. If someone's asking for the towing capacity in an F-150, boom, it's right in front of them immediately, serves up that customer. And then when it transition, the biggest thing is learning the transition. I'd like to ask you about how do you handle that transition from the AI to the actual salesperson, the team, because that's part of the evolution of AI. What is the transfer of that customer?
Well, the key is teaching your team to actually read what conversations has been going on.
Good start there.
I know it's a shocker, right? Yeah. But having them read and see the conversation so that they can come into it, right? Just like ours is named Sarah.
That's a great plug for Genius Summary that lives right in the customer contact card.
Exactly.
So you see that conversation, see that summary, so that when you call, you can talk to the customer like the person that they've been talking to, the AI, is a real person, right? It just transitions over. Now, if you don't read it and you jump into a deal, you'll get egg on your face, and we've had that happen. That's just where, that's just where it goes. But I think. What you said, I'll tell a quick little story. We had a lady send in a very heartfelt email. We do something on Facebook. We give away a car every month on Facebook, okay? We give away a used car every month on Facebook. And this person decided to send in an email with her whole life story and everything she was going through and why she should win the car. Well, that's not really how it works if you read the deal. But the AI grabbed this woman's email and wrote the most heartfelt, empathetic response. We looked at it and said, man, there's not anybody in this dealership that could have responded this well to this customer with this much empathy and care, right? And so the AI is more than just a computer answering a question. Yeah. It really does learn and talk and engage customers like it's one of our, in fact, probably better than most of our salespeople.
And they don't call in sick. They work 24/7, and they don't make spelling errors.
That's true.
Yeah, that's incredible. And really, again, just bringing it all together in one centralized place to have that context, to lead with empathy and the right tone and the right factual information is very uniquely positioned in the platform to drive that. Something you referenced earlier is we have a presentation coming up this afternoon announcing the new features, and I'd love to hear your opinion on how DriveCentric is making you feel comfortable as you've had long tenures in the past with other platforms, and there's been innovation that disrupted that, and you made the change. However, I'd love your thoughts on, the innovation that we're continuing to bring in partnership with FordDirect to feel like you're still on the leading edge and have the best possible technology to support your growth.
Yeah, and so I full disclosure, I've not seen any of what you're going to announce at 2:00, so I'm excited. And the reason I'm excited is I've already seen what you've built. So if you're bringing more stuff that's going to add value to it, then it's got to be good. And that's, I guess, where it goes back to what I said earlier about legacy CRMs. Their platforms weren't built for today. So they're either having to retool their entire platform for today's technology, structure, that type of stuff, or they're being left behind. So your platform is very nimble, right? It's very today's technology. So you're able, as things change, as things evolve, as trends come out, you're able to move very quickly. And that's what we always like to look for. We like to look, not that you're a small company, but we like to look for the smaller company that's hungry, that wants to keep growing, that wants to keep being the leading edge type deal. And at some point in time, I hope this isn't DriveCentric, but the other companies, they get comfortable, they get so many dealers and that type of stuff. And I just don't think, I don't think that companies nowadays, vendors, all these thousands of vendors that are here right now, they can afford to do that anymore. Things are changing too fast. There's too many people who can do stuff on their own now, that type of stuff. So I'm excited to see exactly what you're bringing as added value, and have no doubt that that we'll use the majority of it, because that's where we are with DriveCentric. I mean, we have probably the best engagement, and I've got 3 of my general managers sitting out there right now. We have the best engagement with CRM that we've had in the 30 years I've been in the car business.
That's amazing, and I can confidently say I'm extremely sure that the innovation we're bringing and you'll continue to learn more about is going to be aligned with those past experiences.
Yeah. Good.
So Joshua, if you were going to sit in front of a Ford dealer or a Lincoln retailer tonight, hopefully not at the bar, you have a nice dinner, what would you say, not to sell the solution, but what would you say is the differentiator? What was different for you that you made that decision? Because moving CRMs, as you said earlier, is a big task. Let's change management. Like, what would you sit down and tell them?
Well, I guess, and I kind of alluded to it earlier, what I would tell them is, first thing I want you to do is go make a list of every vendor that you use. Okay? Go make a list of every vendor that you use. What do they do? Mm-hmm. Then sit down with DriveCentric and see what DriveCentric can eliminate.
Yeah.
Right? Just one for one, what can DriveCentric eliminate? And that's for 2 purposes. 1, so you're going to get all of that integration in DriveCentric. 2, from a cost standpoint, because you ultimately could save money, right, by getting rid of all that. So you got a win-win. You could save money, which we're always trying to do, and then you've got everything built into one tool, right? And where it's good because you get more integration. It's good because you get more engagement. It's great because managers can now see what's happening with the conversation, and the managers can be more effective by engaging a customer the salesperson's involved with, versus, hey, the salesperson sent a video from over here, but they're talking to the customer over here. They don't see all these pieces. Now that the managers can see what the salesperson's doing at all levels, managers become a lot more effective in jumping in and helping move that lead to the next level, or ultimately into leaving with a car. And so that's what I would tell a dealer. Sit down, draw a line in the middle of the paper, list all your vendors and what they do on one side, put DriveCentric on the other, and say, what can DriveCentric replace and give me a better overall experience.
Great. Awesome.
Excellent. So I think in closing here, really appreciate the partnership. I think we built something incredibly differentiated with FordDirect, with the unique data set, and combining that with DriveCentric's focus on innovation and continuing that spirit with innovation at every turn and the support to match in partnership. And with that, we're confident we'll continue to drive those market-leading results for our partners.
Well, super. Thanks, Joshua.
Yes,
Thanks,
absolutely.
Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Really
much.
Appreciate it.